Alright, so this is going to be fitting your Concealment Solutions holster to your gun. And when I first got my Concealment Solutions holster, it was really not that good at retention of my Glock 22. And this is a cleared gun with no mag. I would pull the slide back for you, but I'm using one hand to hold the camera and one hand to hold the gun. So this is a Glock 22 in rough textured frame, so when there's a round in the chamber, the extractor sticks out a little bit, and that's how I can tell this gun's not loaded right now and it doesn't have a mag in there. So now it's not that bad. Has pretty good retention. Not the best, but pretty good. And now I'm going to show you how to adjust tension on it. And it's really easy. Don't need any special tools. I'm just using my girlfriend's hairdryer. And it's set to the highest heat setting, which on this one is down. You could also use a heat gun or stuff like that, but that's if you want to go out and spend $10 on a heat gun, and I'm too cheap for that, damn it. So, just going to use this Fred Meyer hairdryer. You have to warm up the Kydex with heat from the hairdryer, focusing on the trigger guard and also on where your ejection area of your gun would be. So right around here and right around here. And then just warm those up till they start to get to a point where you could push them down and change the feel of it. And it's going to be hot when you're doing it, so you could wear gloves, but you don't really need to, because you're only touching it for a second to form it. So you just warm it up. I usually do it for a minute, maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes, just to make sure that it gets nice and malleable, so I don't have to worry about messing it up too bad. And if your holster came pre-fit to a gun by Jason at the factory, you don't have to worry about making it too tight or anything like that. Just make sure that it's secure when your gun is in there, and there's ways you can check that. And if it's too tight for your gun and it doesn't come out fast enough, what you can do is you can take your hairdryer again and warm up the Kydex just like I'm doing now, but then pull your gun in and out, and then that'll expand it. That's why I don't really care if I make too big of a kind of depression in it here and squish it down a bit too much, because you can always change it back around to where it works. And what I've noticed after about a month or so of wearing it after I did this the last time, it kind of got out of place. I think that could have just been because the leather was still forming to my gun, so it might not be you know, the best thing to do. It might be a good idea to do this and then redo it after about a month or 2 months of wearing it after your gun's been broken in like mine has. And get another couple seconds here just to warm it up, and that should be good. And then I'll just start pressing it in. That's probably good enough. Now just start pressing. You can see how it's going down like that. That's good. It adjusts. It adjusts in there. And there you go. It's a little bit flatter, so it'd be good for carrying. That's about where your belt would go too, so it would kind of make it easier to conceal a little bit. And now it's still pretty warm, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this, I'm going to put it in the freezer for a couple minutes just to make sure that the Kydex is completely set before I start putting my gun in and out, because if you put your gun in and out too fast after forming it up there, then that could cause problems, because that's how you would also loosen it if you had a holster that was too tight. So I'm going to give that about 5 minutes in the freezer, and then I'll check fit. Okay, I just got my Concealment Solutions holster out of the freezer. It's been about 15-20 minutes in there, so it's a little bit longer, but still, it just makes sure that the Kydex gets set so it doesn't kind of form out on you here. So, once again, just take a hair dryer, warm it up, push down around the ejector area and the trigger guard area, pretty much where your belt would go. And between that, the pressure of the belt against there, and the pressure of your body against the back of it, you're going to have really good retention. But let's check and see how good the retention would be with a gun in there with no body pressure against it, nothing. So, and this is a loaded magazine going into my Glock 22, but I'm not going to rack the slide, and the gun's going to be in a safe direction here. That's a good tight fit. Checking it up and down, loaded gun, and this baby's not coming out. That's good retention. That's what I was looking for. And that's the way it was when I first adjusted it, but it kind of comes out. So again, loaded mag, bouncing upside down there. It's not just a regular mag either, that's a +2 base plate on there, so I have 17 rounds in this Glock 22 that holds 15, and night sights, stainless steel guide rod, a couple other upgrades that add a couple ounces to it, so great retention, love it.